Okay, are you ready? Because I am ready. I am about to spill the tea on how my last relationship ended. And before you say anything, I'm a gay. It was a guy. Get over it. Okay, so he was on drugs. Didn't go very well for him. And I'm 17. He was 29. So he kind of got arrested and then got charged with statutory rape. So that kind of my fault, kind of his fault. It's both of our faults. We both participated in the sex. But I could have pressed more charges, but I didn't because I'm not the type of person. Okay, are you ready? So here's how it went, okay? So he went into this church. I did not go in with him. He said he is God and the devil because he was crazy, because he was on drugs. And he threatened to slit the pastor's throat, and he had a little knife with him. And so the pastor's like, the devil is not allowed here. And then he's like, oh, so he left. He came out of the church. He went back into the church again. And so they called the cops on him. And then he came out to the car and said, they threatened to call the cops on me. And I said, what happened? Because at this point I had no clue what he had done in that church. And he said, I just told them that why would they only preach a light ceremony when they should preach both? And I'm like, you went into a church and told them not to preach a light ceremony. Well, that's kind of stupid. So that's what I thought was going on. So we went up to the castle. If you don't know what it is, it's a castle up the road that my grandpa built. It's a spiritual playground for the good and bad spirits. So that's always fun. And so, yeah, Ryan, I'm calling him out right now. Okay, so he took me up there after I had no clue what was going on. And then we sat there for a while. He tried to suck my penis. And I'm just like, oh no. And then my dad came up there and said, I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? I'm scared. What did he do? And I'm like, and he told me to go home. Dad did. And I'm like, I'm not going home because I'm not. And I said, I can't. And he said, why can't you? And I did not say anything. But in my head, I'm thinking, if he kills this guy, he's going to prison. Like, this guy can be out of my life, but my dad cannot go to prison for something that's my fault. So yeah, he was my fault because I feel like I'm responsible for him because he was my ex and I was with him. So, and I said no. And so my dad tried to hit him. He backed up towards me, the guy did that I was with at the time. And he backed up towards me because he knew my dad would not hit me. And so he got out of it. Dad went home, and then we heard a car coming up, so we looked who it was. It was a police officer and the K-9 units coming up to the castle. The spiritual playground for all the demons and angels. So, yeah, we freaking went down to the gate, and the cops were coming up, and I'm like, I'm gonna go over here talk to these policemen. And he's like, don't go past the gate. They can't hurt us here. This is our sanctuary. And I'm like, he done lost his marbles. He's done going crazy. He's done insane. He needs to take a chill pill. He needs something to happen with his brain to just click something in there to where he thinks straight again. Even though he was having sex with me, so therefore he wasn't very straight. And so, I went to the car, and the police were questioning us, and he's like, I heard you threatened to slit a pastor's throat. What's going on? And so he was talking to them, getting the names and stuff. Apparently, Ryan gave them a name that was, like, false or whatever, and they asked me what his name was. I told them what his actual name was, and they're like, oh, okay. And then what happened is he wasn't from this state. He didn't have a license in this state, so they had to find him from another state. Like, they had to look him up without just this state's documents. And so they looked him up. They said, okay, we're going down to take you to the church for questioning. And then this crazy guy says, I'm scared to go down there. After just threatening to slit a pastor's throat in the same exact church, said, I'm scared to go down there. And then he's like, I want him to come with me. Talking about me. And so I'm just like, okay, I'll go down there. And then on the car ride there, he was like holding my hand and shit, like he was terrified. And I'm like, you should be scared because you did just threaten to slit a pastor's throat in a church of God. You need to get some help. And so then they asked me to get out of the car, and I thought they were going to take him off for questioning. I got out of the car. They did not question me. They drove off with him, and they kept my poem book in their car. But later they came back there that night and said they needed to question me some more, and I had to fill out a little not a survey, a little paper. And freaking, I'm like, can I have my poem book back because it's kind of still in your car? So, like, get away. Like, give me my poem book. I need it. That's my life. I write my poems in there to keep me living and to keep my depression off. Like, just to cut that bitch off. So they gave me that. I filled out the form. Everything was good. Then this bitch got out of jail, okay? He was ordered not to be around here. Ordered not to be around my family, not to be around any of this because he was crazy. He told my little sister before all this happened, we're going to vanquish this evil or we're going to burn the house down trying. And I'm just like, oh. He thought my grandma was Satan. And I did the thing that I thought was right in the situation because he was going crazy. I thought he was going to sacrifice me, so I convinced him that I was God. Because I did not want to die. And he was literally convinced that I was God. Because I had to do what I had to do. I didn't want to die. Like, what? And so I put myself in a situation to where it made me not able to be killed. So he just didn't try to kill me. So that happened. And when he got out of jail, he did good. He got out literally like 2 months later, even though he had a count of every single charge in the world on him. He got out like a couple months later, and then he got put in jail again. Guess what he got put in there for? Arguing with a cow on private property. The dumb shit was arguing with the fucking cow that can't even talk. Okay, now I don't know what went off in his head, but like, arguing with a cow? Are you serious? Like, you've argued with me, I'm basically a cow, but like, an actual cow in someone's yard? Are you joking me? Like, what are you, like, I don't understand how you could argue with a cow on private property and get arrested. Does not make any sense at all. But yeah, that was my story time about how my ex-relationship ended. I'm single as single can be, and I'm lonely and scared and terrified. No, I'm not scared, just lonely, just very lonely. I was with him for a year, just a little bit lonely. Almost died, let me hit the vape. But yeah, so loneliness has hit me. I'm over it. I got over him pretty fast, actually. I didn't think I would, but I actually did. But yeah, that was my story time. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you have a nice day, a nice night, a nice life, because everyone deserves to be loved. And remember, perfection is only a perspective, and once you find someone that sees you as perfect in their perspective, then they are the person for you. Have a nice day, and remember that you are perfect in someone's perspective.